welcome to Windsong Intuition. Today we'll be doing a reading for Focus of the Week, and that's going to be for the second week of July 2019, and this is going to be for fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And this is a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate with you, that's all right. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes if it doesn't resonate, that means that you need to look at your other signs, which would be your rising, moon, or even Venus signs. Usually my sun sign is accurate for me, but every now and then I have to look at the other signs, and that's okay. But this is going to be a different type of reading than most weekly readings that you'll see. Most of those are forecast readings, sort of like a weekly horoscope. But this is going to be a little different. This is going to be what in the next week is going to need your most of your attention, which is why it's called Focus of the Week. And those different areas that I've decided to make this spread for would be, for instance, yourself. Perhaps you need to have a little more self-care or take care of your health, or there's going to be something about yourself that you need to focus on. Finances, and that could be either just money issues or bills in general, or work. Then home, and when I say home, I mean more of the physical items, sort of like if your house needs maintenance, or and I'm also including your vehicle, whatever you use for transportation in that. And then your relationships, and this is would be any kind of relationship, love, friendship, work related, and then anything education wise. And it doesn't necessarily mean school. It could be how-to videos, or just anything that you're doing for what I would call self-improvement. And then once I do the layout and I determine which area looks like it's going to need your the most of your undivided attention, I'll pull it aside, and then we'll do some clarifying cards, and then maybe even some action cards to see, how to best approach those areas in your life. So, and just as a warning, I'm not a pretty shuffler, and I shuffle in different ways. It just depends on how I feel like the message is going to come out. And so this is going to be for fire signs. And this message, even though it's for the second week of July in 2019, if you're watching it at another time that you felt really pulled to watch this video, I've asked whenever I did the prayer and set the intention for it that it would cross time, so that if you're watching it at a future date, if it resonates for you, that's great. So just going to shuffle here until I feel as though and it may take a while before I feel as though the message is ready. Actually, right about there. Okay, so the center card is going to be self. And the bottom card, and I'm going to have to stack a little bit here. This is finances. And the more material home life, relationships, and then education. So right away, I'm drawn to this Five of Pentacles, fire signs. It's this is a time I feel like a lot of people are going to be struggling. It's summertime. There's vacations going on, but this is going to resonate for a lot of people, that their finances or their work is an area of concern. I'll go a little bit over what I'm seeing for the other ones. For self, I feel like your emotions, especially with everybody's talking about the Mercury retrograde and the eclipses that are going on, and so you're going to be feeling a lot of emotion. You're going to be feeling very passionate, and the emotions are just going to be really at the forefront. So make sure that when you're dealing with other people, that you're just aware that you're just going to be in a heightened state of emotions. But as far as self-care, I don't really feel like, you know, you may need to kind of give yourself a timeout to calm down, but I don't feel like you really are going to need to focus the most on yourself in that way. And because this would mean, if it were to come up, that it could be, you know, just watching your diet or anything like that, but I don't really see that right now. For the home life, the Page of Pentacles, I don't really see anything negative coming up with things you're going to have to focus on as far as that goes. Relationships, and this I feel like kind of ties in with this. You're going to be really quick with your words. When you're dealing with anybody in your relationship, you're going to be quick to respond and kind of cut into the chase, and maybe even a little snippy with people. And so just be aware of that. I don't feel like this is going to pose a problem as long as you're just aware of it. As far as education goes, this tells me that you're in a state where you want to learn new things, and you want to improve on yourself. And this could be, you know, whether you're in school or this is just reading books or watching tutorials. But I see, you know, positive things with that. But this right here, this tells me that there's something either with work or with your bills that's really going to need your attention next week. So this is what we're going to focus on. So I'm going to pull these other cards up, and we're going to set this guy aside. And actually, I want to pull a clarifying card. Let's find out if this is for work or if it's just finances in general. Okay, so fire signs, they need to know a clarifying. I need a clarifying card here. What clarifying card? Oh, okay. Let's see here. All right. So this is telling me that this is more about your spending. I think you may be feeling the temptation there to spend on things that you maybe just don't have the money to spend. You may have it in your account. What we like to say is, I have it, but I don't have it to spend. That money needs to be earmarked for other things. Even if you don't foresee it, there may be something that comes up that you think, oh, I really wish I hadn't spent the money on that, because now this is cropped up and I really need it. So this is telling me right now that next week you're going to just feel this temptation to spend on things that you like or that you want, or you know, maybe you're spending time with friends or family, or on vacation, and you're just, you know, wanting to go all out and just have fun. But I really think next week that you need to have a little bit of reserve there. You need to pull back, monitor that spending. Don't give in to those impulse buys, and that could be big or small. And watch the small stuff too. Don't just, oh, well, this little $5 thing or this little $20 thing, and that's not a whole lot. But if you start adding it up over next week, it may really add up and bite you in the end. So this is telling me that you're really going to need to really watch that spending next week. Oh goodness, these cards are really jumping all over the place. And this High Priestess is sitting out, but this was just my flubbing. I don't always, I take jumpers, but I don't always. I only take the jumpers if I really feel like it's trying to get my attention for whatever reason. If you watch my first video, you'll hear that I've talked about that I like this deck, but it's really difficult for me to shuffle because of how thick it is. So, all right, what kind of actions can fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius take next week to help with that temptation? Hold on. This one seems like it wants to jump out here. That's the High Priestess again. Well, she really wants to speak, doesn't she? Trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, insights that come through meditation. So this is really good for careful reflection before you take action. So don't just spend that money, even if it's something you really wanted. For some reason, I'm really hearing, though, that this is a bigger purchase. I'm hearing that this is this is something that you're wanting to do, or something that you've even thought about doing for a while, and you're really thinking about doing it next week. I think there's something in your gut that's telling you need to wait. And that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen at all. That's not what that means. What I'm feeling like is just next week is not the time. So really, really think about any of those purchases that you've been considering, larger purchases, even the smaller purchases. Really reflect on it and think, do I need to do this now? Do I need to wait for a better time? Because I really don't feel like next week is the time for you to do this. I really think you need to be pulling back, taking a look at your budget, look at your finances, and really resist that temptation to just go ahead and, well, it'll be okay. I really think that would be a bad decision next week, fire signs. So I really hope that this is going to help you next week to really think. Whenever the situations pop up, I hope you think, well, maybe I really need to reflect on this and trust in your intuition here, especially with big purchases. So I hope that this message will help you. And if it does, leave a comment. I'd be interested to hear how your week turned out. And I hope you all have a really, really great week, and that it's going in to be a really great summer for you guys. So have a great day.